You're watching BBC World News. Our top story. The Taliban have made their most dramatic gains yet against Afghan government forces, taking Kandahar, the country's second largest city, and Lashkargah. Well, let's take a look at how the two main contending forces in Afghanistan compare. The Afghan National Security Forces have, in theory, a strength of around 307,000, including the military, police, intelligence and special forces. The precise strength of the Taliban isn't known, but in 2020 the UN estimate was 55 to 85,000 strong. The two forces are funded in very different ways. The Afghan security forces cost around $5 to $6 billion a year. The US usually provides around three-quarters of that, with the rest from other international sources. The Taliban's sources of revenue are obviously less clear, but they're believed to make between $300 million and $1.5 billion through a mix of trading in narcotics, extortion and taxes in areas already under their control. Well, I'm joined now by Kamran Bokhari, Director of Analytical Development at the New Lines Institute for Strategy and Policy. He's also author of Political Islam in the Age of Democratization and joins me from Washington. Welcome to BBC World News. Kamran, I want to put it to you that the Taliban have clearly not only got resources, they've also had a lot of time to prepare this offensive.
Indeed. They've had almost 2 decades to prepare for this situation, and the insurgency and the weakness, the chronic weakness of the Afghan regime that the United States and its coalition partners were trying to build provided for the time and space for them to actually prepare to execute the takeover of the country that we are witnessing right now. They specifically targeted the areas that were traditionally hostile to them in the north and the northwest, so as to deny the Afghan government the strategic rear that it could fall back upon in the event that they lost the capital. In the past, they went from the south to Kabul and then to the north. This time, they specifically targeted the north and the northwest while working on the south, and now they're making their way to Kabul.
So, to put it very bluntly, it was expected they'd go south and they went north.
Yes, well, it depends on who you're talking about. You know, I was looking at this 5-6 years ago and wrote a major report on how they were taking over districts that they did not control even in the heyday of their regime back in the 90s. And it was obvious that they were making serious inroads into the territory of their adversaries. So for me, you know, this isn't completely surprise. What is surprising, though, somewhat, is the speed at which the regime collapse has taken place.
And what is your thinking now about Kabul and any likely military move on the capital?
So there are two choices before the Taliban, and they have to make a decision. And I don't think that they are clear just yet because of the fluidity of the battle space and the diplomacy that's taking place around the world. So on one hand, they can go in, and once they've taken over and laid siege to the capital, then just push in and topple the current government. But they know that that's a red line for the United States and most international stakeholders. They are opposed to a military takeover of the government, and they want a negotiated settlement. So I think what the Taliban will do is lay siege to Kabul and then seriously negotiate for the departure of the current government, its replacement with a transitional one that they would dominate, and then draft a new constitution, assuming we get there. In my opinion, this process that I just laid out will take a long time because it's one thing to take over the country, but the civil war doesn't end with that. It just basically transforms into a new phase where the struggle to put up a new regime will continue for months, if not years.
And earlier in the programme, we were talking about the notion of a fighting season, that the fighting may grind to a halt around October. If you're sitting in Kabul, you might be thinking, well, we're either going to face paralysis or siege. I mean, it's pretty desperate options.
It is, and right now, given the fact that very few places that the Taliban have taken where they saw resistance, where those who were on the government side, whether they were militias or state security forces personnel, that they stood their ground and fought. So those in the Ghani administration and in the Kabul government have to be thinking that, will they face the same kind of situation where people will decline combat, worse, defect to the Taliban when it comes time to when the fighting reaches Kabul.
Kamran Bokhari in Washington, thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.